live. The show is live.
Look at that fancy couch. It's
Yeah,
no longer
very-
a lame bachelor pad.
My casting couch.
We're done.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, Crickets.
That's why you didn't get
Welcome,
the email.
ladies and gentlemen, to a glorious clickbait segment. My name's Scooter Magruder. I'm going to be hosting this week because you know what? I told you so. Joining me, it is none other than my legendary crew. None other than one, Brandon Perna. Perna, how are you doing today?
I am doing fine. It's Thursday. I forgot about everything that's already happened to my team. That's bad. I'm on to optimism. We're going to beat the Commanders. Toot,
That's
toot.
fair. That's fair.
Are
To
you
the
really
right
gonna
of
beat the
Perna, we have none other than urinating Tree. Tree, how goes it today, brethren?
Well, Cameron Haywood's on IR. Deontay Johnson is going to be out for a few weeks. And Trent Williams pretty much said they were begging our offense to do something. So, yeah, Matt Canada's not getting fired. The only thing that cheered me up is that this guy's team did worse than mine.
Wow, and this guy would be none
I am
other
screaming
than,
internally.
This guy would be none other than 5 Points Vid 5. Do you want to talk about it?
No, I do not want to talk about anything, really. Just, it's been, you ever try to eat you ever leave a sandwich out and let it spoil? That was Sunday. Like, I got all excited for this sandwich. I waited till 8 o'clock at night to eat this sandwich, and I took one bite. Like, it looked good. Like, the sandwich, it looked like an Italian sub or something. I don't know. It looked great. And I took one bite, and it was completely rotten. I spit it out, and then for the next 3 hours, I was forced to eat that sandwich and watch the game. That was the New York Giants versus
That's fair. That's fair.
Dallas
We're gonna
Cowboys.
get.
I had to eat it, and then I had diarrhea after. It was
We're
great.
gonna get all into that, all of the diarrhea. We're getting into all of that. But ladies and gentlemen, we need W's in the chat because our last member, Tom Daniel Grassi, just surpassed 500K subscribers.
Woo!
Can we clap it up for this guy? TD, Tom Grassi, welcome to the show. Your Packers beat the Bears. How are you feeling today, Tom?
Feeling pretty great. Listen, starting off the year 1-0, just like I told you so. Listen, Bears fans, well, a lot of Bears fans, they said a lot of trash in the offseason, and then they showed up and looked like that. So, great start to the year. We're doing splendid.
I mean, that sounds like the Bears every year, though.
That's
they take the same snake oil,
Oh,
the same
Jerry
shysters.
Judy's active. Jerry Judy's active.
He was a full participant in practice today.
Woo!
Let's just get straight into the past
Brandon.
games. Let's
Sorry,
start
that's
in the
more
top
important than
left.
Tom's 500,000 subscribers.
Yes. But with Judy, I will say this. A quick question. What are the odds of them getting 17 points or more in this next week?
Now that we got Jerry, baby, give us 30 points.
30.
27.
So you're going from like
Quarter.
Nathaniel Hackett to like late 90s Shanahan numbers. That's a pretty bold statement, sir.
Before we get into next week, let's talk about what happened last week. It was the Broncos. It was the Raiders. It was a curse. The curse continues. Brandon, break down what happened during the game for those who did not get a chance to watch it. What went wrong?
Everything. The one guy I thought maybe would be able to make an athletic play, and Greg Dulcich late hurt for the entire second half. Hamstring.
Out for a couple weeks.
So then the Broncos are operating with 3 other tight ends who are all blocking tight ends. Jerry Judy's injured. Cortland Sutton is a possession receiver. He's not a get space type guy. Our running backs were efficient, but Javonte Williams still coming back from that knee injury. We just couldn't get any explosive plays. Both the Raiders and Broncos had 10 penalties each, so a lot to clean up there. 20 total penalties. That hurt. And just like last year, when we needed our defense to get a stop, they gave up a touchdown. So
How did Russell Wilson look? Because I really didn't watch the game.
Better.
I don't
He
know
was
anything.
fine. Not a problem. He made smart decisions. There just wasn't a lot there. There's a couple plays you could criticize Russ for, but like, what quarterback would you look at in a game and be like, oh, those 3 plays weren't that good? No turnovers. His 2 touchdown passes were really nice. One extends the play. Fires a dart into the back of the end zone. So, like, we talked about this on my Broncos podcast yesterday. Broncos fans are not blaming Russell Wilson right now for their woes. So that's a huge win for Russ and the team. It's his stat. Like, if you just go and look at the box score, it's like, oh, he didn't do shit. But it was a weird game in that, like I said, only 6 possessions for the Broncos offense. So they're not going to, there wasn't a lot of opportunities to score there. So you can play this like clock game. You can eat clock as an offense. You can run the ball and just bore your opposing defense, but you need your defense to either get you some 3 and outs or cause turnovers. And
did anyone else see this game?
Turnovers, but it was after.
Anyone else see this game?
Like on red zone mostly, but
Yeah, I was
watch
distracted.
it if you have trouble sleeping. Would be my.
Sure. Now, looking forward to next week, Brandon. You got the Commanders up next. What are you anticipating for this game?
I don't know. Here's what I'm optimistic about. Okay. The Broncos sacked Garoppolo 0 times. 0 sacks on Jimmy G. I think the official is they recorded 3 pressures all game. Commanders just gave up 6 sacks, okay? Sam Howell, young quarterback, going to hold on to the ball a little bit longer. I just want to see a pass rush. Any form of a pass rush with Randy Gregory and Frank Clark and Jonathan Cooper. Whoever we have in there, somebody sack the quarterback. If we can do that a couple times, maybe they're better.
That's fair.
Is your team relatively healthy? Because their defense was banged up. That was a big problem.
Nope.
wide receiver banged up. They've lost Caden Stearns to injury. They have a couple other guys that have been out with injury. They're probably one of the more banged up teams right now, besides the Ravens, but they're always banged up.
We're banged up. There's a lot of there's been a couple like season-ending injuries, but right now it's just like a lot of guys who are just there's smaller injuries, but they're going to be out type shit.
That's fair. That's fair. Let's transition to the Steelers. They were going up against the 49ers, and Tree, this just looked like a beatdown. Can you take us through what happened this game?
Can I not? That was embarrassing. I want to personally apologize for deluding myself into thinking that they had a legitimate chance of winning this game. I apologize about any chance of the 49ers, being stymied in any way offensively or defensively by the Steelers. And I want to apologize for thinking Kenny Pickett was going to overcome Matt Canada's awful scheming, because none of that happened. It was an everything problem. The running game was non-existent. Kenny Pickett was playing like shit. They say it's a concussion. I don't know how true that is, though. Wide receiver-wise, George Pickens was kind of getting lazy on routes, pulling a Chase Claypool. Offensive line got exposed multiple times. Defense, where was the defense? Cam Hayward's out for probably the middle of the season, which destroys our interior defensive line. And that was definitely a game, and I prefer not to talk about it again. I did a stream because I thought it was going to be an interesting game, and I slowly died on the inside, and it was not fun.
I was in that stream. Now, here's the question. Was it so much the Steelers being outplayed, or did they play themselves, basically? Were the 49ers that much better?
Yes, the 49ers played a perfect team game, especially if you look at a lot of their blocking schemes. Even on that Christian McCaffrey 65-yard run, they had perfect steals. They lined up they read the defense and offense, honestly, to a T. Just perfect coverage, perfect play. Brock Purdy just sliced up that zone D all game long. So it was between a true contender and a pretender. That's what I felt it was.
Looking forward to next week. You guys got the Browns. Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
What are we expecting in this game?
Well, if they don't bounce back, it's going to be a long year, and Mike Tomlin's much ballyhooed season streak of over 500 might be in jeopardy. But this has to be a bounce-back game. I mean, you're going to be without Deontay Johnson. Like, the one play he did all right, and you getting momentum, clutches his hamstring, out for a couple weeks minimum, and then Cam Hayward comes out, doesn't play. You can't be outscored on 200 yards of offense to 199 to 1. You can't do that.
Let's see how it plays out. Now, moving on to a team where the fandom actually won, we're going to move on to the Packers beating the Bears. Tom, take us through what happened in this game, because it was relatively close at the beginning, and then I look back, you guys are up by a lot. What happened?
Yeah, no, the first half was super duper close. The Packers, they got really good field position in the beginning because the Bears went for around 4th down and didn't get it. And then the Packers, they scored a touchdown to Romeo Doubs on the first drive. And then it was a close game. I think they had like 10 points, I think, by the start of the second half. And then they started actually utilizing Aaron Jones, and the Bears had no answer. The Bears had no defensive pass rush like whatsoever. Jordan Love had a really, really good day, just standing behind an offensive line, which was incredible. Our pass rush was constantly getting after Justin Fields, and it just looked like the Bears had no idea what they were doing. So they fell apart. They were Chicago was booing their own team by the second quarter, and it was a great day. And now Matt LaFleur remains undefeated against the Bears. They've won 9 straight.
Same question goes to you. Was this game really about the Packers being a better team, or was it really about the Bears just being an awful team?
I think it's a bit of both. I think that the Packers, again, their strength is going to be their O-line this year, because like Aaron Jones, he's banged up right now. He's got a bit of a hamstring issue. But their O-line, if they give Love protection, then like we're rocking. I'm really, really excited. I never say this, but like for the defense, and I actually mean it this time because they looked good. I'm curious to see how they look against the Falcons, who were definitely a more put together team this week. I think it's going to be a tougher game.
Absolutely. And now looking forward, you guys have a chance to easily go 2-0 because you got the Falcons up next, and they didn't look all that good in their game. What are we thinking for this game?
I would say they looked pretty good. I mean, like Tyler Algier, they had a really good run game. Tyler Algier had 2 touchdowns. Bijan Robinson looked real good in his limited opportunities. Ritter, kind of looked okay, but no, Jesse Bates in that secondary looked real good. So, I mean, I thought that the defense of the Falcons performed pretty damn well. So I think it's actually going to be a little bit of a tougher game. I think it's going to be a close game. But yeah, no, I think the Packers have a really good chance going 2-0. But if we don't have Aaron Jones, and if we continue to not have Christian Watson, it's going to be tougher, because Aaron Jones really was like a major part of that offensive attack from Sunday.
All right. And lastly, this leads us to the late night game of Sunday. Your America's team, Dallas Cowboys, taking on the New York Giants. This was a 40-0 game. Mm-hmm. What did you learn?
Yeah, I'll take it from the Giants' perspective, and then you can do it from the Cowboys' perspective. Okay. The thing is Tree and I were streaming it on the Dumpster Fire. Guys, everyone subscribe. And the Giants' opening drive was as good as you could get, right? They marched down the field. They were in the red zone. They're on the 7-5-yard line. Didn't have to pass the ball once. I'm talking on the stream. I'm like, hey, this is very effective. They haven't had to even – this is going to set up play action for later. Now, sometimes in a game, a team will mess up in the first quarter. They'll throw a pick six. They'll have a fumble. That's a scoop and score. They recover from it, right? The better team usually ends up washing out. They can overcome 1 or even 2 mistakes if they're that much better. The Giants, false start on the 5-yard line, push themselves back, and then they try to kick a field goal, and it gets blocked and run all the way back, and it felt like the game was instantaneously over from that point forward. It was ugly. The Giants never recovered. After that, they no longer ran the ball for some reason. Like, they saw what they did in the first drive, and they stopped running it. They started doing play action. They started getting cute, and they were in scoring position twice, to which they – it was a 40-0 shutout, but kicking conditions were not good. Even who's the new Dallas kicker? He missed a couple kicks, but it was ugly in every facet of the game. Not a good start to the season, and now we have to go to Arizona in a must-win game. We have to win this game because what's the percentage of a team going 0-2?
You do have to win because 11.3% of the teams that start 0-2 made the playoffs, but no 0-2 team has made the playoffs since 2018. So it's very hard to make the playoffs if you start 0-2. So good luck against Arizona.
And I should be concerned because the Giants laid the biggest egg out of every team in the entire NFL. Arizona, a team that is intentionally pretty much tanking this season, gave the Commanders a lot of trouble. We just cannot be folded repeatedly like a bunch of chairs at a wedding, post-wedding, the way that we did against the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. So you can take it away, dunk, do whatever you want. You deserve it because we sucked. We were bad.
From my perspective, here's how I see it.
Jedi, you're evil.
There's only 2 really good teams in the NFL right now. There's really 2, in my opinion. It's the 49ers. They looked really good. And it's the Dallas Cowboys. Every other team out there looked mid or bad. I'm talking about the Bengals looked terrible. The Chiefs looked terrible. The Eagles looked mid. It's the 49ers and the Cowboys. And the Cowboys got the better defense between the 2 of them. Our defense – Let me speak.
Are you really going to?
Let me speak.
Okay.
Our defense looked like the scariest thing I have ever seen since DeMarcus Ware was lining back up there. We got 7 sacks out there. We scored in every way possible. The Dallas Cowboys look like a contender. They look like Super Bowl contenders out there. And all I can say is the offense, it's still TBD for the offense, but we've seen this before. Defense wins championships. I think the best thing that happened to the Dallas Cowboys was that Kellen Moore is no longer on the team because now we are playing a conservative style of offense. We're not gunslinging it out there.
Just for a moment.
Really?
All I'm gonna say is this: anyone's gonna look good with how bad the right side of the
I just wanted for a brief moment, just a brief
guys,
moment.
I had to take a break too.
I gave all you guys time to talk. Please listen when it is my time to talk.
Brother, you're out here doing the emancipation.
Scooter literally was like, "Everybody can go, so that I can't even be blamed for interrupting. I want you to get all of your pieces out, so I can go on a 20-minute rant."
Did the Cowboys not look like the best team in the NFL? Yes or no?
That's all I want to say. I had this number 2.
They look good.
It's just the 49ers and the Cowboys.
Yeah, I had the 49ers as number 1, and I had the Cowboys as number 2.
That's it. And we'll see. I honestly don't think the Giants are as bad as we made them look out there. I really don't. I just think it was
the O-line was very bad. Evan Neal's in his second year, and he is not developing he will develop, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to see him go the Eric Flowers route where it takes 4 or 5 years for him to become just a serviceable offensive lineman. Like, Evan Neal gave me a lot of concern, and then Glowinski was terrible.
And
he was so
the
bad.
thing with Evan Neal is he was a left tackle in college. You're moving him to right, and that's a big jump and change in instincts and everything involving that.
I just think the Cowboys' defense is for real. The offense is still TBD. We'll see what they can do. But honestly, we don't need the offense to be great. We need the offense to manage and the defense to go and do what they've been doing. Well, we've seen that work for champions in the past. Go ahead, Brandon.
If your defense is that defense every week, you're 100% right. Let's see what happens over the course of time with the defense.
And we'll find out. We'll find out week 5 when we go to play San Francisco in San Francisco. That's going to be the litmus test for me because up until there, we don't really have a team that's really going to test us like that.
But a guy who looked pretty good.
That's going to tell me a lot.
A guy who looked pretty good week 1 was Stephon Gilmore. And one of the issues you guys had last year is some secondary problems. So
and I said that before the season even started.
He was great with the Colts last year. It's like a matter of whether or not he can stay healthy. And he had just a really solid, exactly what you want out of Stephon Gilmore. And if your coverage is good and you give that defensive line and your edge rushers just that extra half second to get to guys, and they can have 7 sacks in a game, 5 sacks, 4 sacks. That was the 2015 Broncos defense. that secondary and the marriage with the pass rush was just crazy. And I felt that way early in that season, watching like if this stays this way, Scooter, you're going to expect a sack every series out there, and that is a fun way to watch football. Like,
Yeah,
the rest of the game's kind
I
of like,
miss it.
but when your defense is
Mhm.
on the field and you're more excited for that than your offense, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I mean, I think Stephon
2008
Gilmore
Giants. Sorry.
was one of the best additions to the team because now it's like even if you flip the field, you're the X receiver and you're flipping sides. Okay, you don't got Stephon Gilmore, but you still got Diggs following you around. And even our slot cornerback is really good. A lot of people don't know about Deron Bland. He was the one who intercepted and ran it back for a touchdown. Our quarterbacks might be one of the best.
That's why.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
I'm
like,
just saying.
I got to talk about Bland. Oh.
The defense is clicking on all cylinders. But we have some more news to talk about other than America's
Yes. Can we
team
talk
looking
about
like the best
anything
team
else?
in
Can
the
we
NFL.
talk
You'll
about my
like this.
bunions?
You'll like this next segment on one of your former teammates or one of your former players on the Giants, Kadarius Toney. This man is filing
Hey,
beyond
Tony.
proportion. He did have one of the worst games ever as graded by PFF. I think it was like he was the worst receiver graded since 2015.
Worst receiver in NFL history by PFF.
Mhm.
It was wild. He had a lot of drops. But, Five, you were saying he went after Pat McAfee. Can you explain what happened in the situation?
Tree knows more about that. I don't know about this story. Tree.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes, Tree.
Oh, let me find it.
About our friend Kadarius Toney talking smack about the New York Giants. Giants fans went after Kadarius Toney in a very big way. And it made a lot of sense because Kadarius Toney was talking a lot of smack. It's not just that. He was also going off about the rivalry between the Giants and just everything in general is a pretty big rivalry. And then once that happened, Kadarius Toney went after the New York Giants. He was talking smack on Instagram. Everyone says that he deleted his Twitter account after the game. He had deleted that a couple months before. So Pat McAfee says that they had deleted that before. But what happened is that a certain guy named Kadarius Toney's going after Pat McAfee now. He'd be talking like you really no S. You just another goofy. Chill.
I'm surprised Kadarius Toney reactivated his Twitter. I thought.
Oh, this is Instagram. This is Instagram.
Oh, this is on Instagram. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Kadarius Toney is turning into an Antonio Brown, and now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to drop this like Kadarius Toney did 4 catches last night.
This is a funny thing to say, though. He's like Pat McAfee talking like he really know his shit. And then he's like, you just another goofy. Like, to me, that's a lot.
But the thing is, Pat McAfee played in the NFL. No, it's
like,
not
if you called me a goofy, I would be like, thank you. Thank you.
Right.
You're a Donald.
Thank you, Andrew.
You're
Andrew
such
with
Oh
a
my
two
gosh.
Honda.
With a 2 hundo fundo.
Yeah.
Dang. They trying
Whoa.
to
Marvin,
punish me. Wasn't
Whoa.
Sunday punishment enough for me?
No.
I honestly admire Kadarius Toney. I really
Okay.
do, because
All right.
if I had the game he had, I would not be talking to anyone on social media until I played a good game again. Like I wouldn't have my skin wouldn't be thick enough to go out to the internet after that game and then start talking trash.
Do
I'm
we
not even
think
being
this
perceived-
is,
like I admire
Well-
people who can do that. I think it's cool.
do we think this is just a one-off, right? He just had a bad game. He's still maybe coming off the injury, still getting warm. He'll bounce back. Or is this more of a sign? Is he reverting back to his Giants days? What do we think?
Was his injury to his hands?
I mean, injuries can affect you in a lot of ways, like your confidence level.
Did he like wash his gloves in
Cooks
soap
is
or
banged
something
up.
that made him like miss the ball? Here's the one thing I want to throw Dave Gettleman under the bus and just back it up. Dave Gettleman drafted Kadarius Toney, right? A malcontent who can never shut up. He drafted Eli Apple one of the most hated corners in the league. That was another Gettleman pick. And he also drafted Eric Flowers, who also went back at the media and threw a bunch of fans under the bus. So, Dave Gettleman, you're 0 for 3. You just love, like, does nobody look at these guys' character at all before bringing them in? Like, those are three, like, especially Apple and Toney are two of the most hated personalities in the NFL ever. And Dave Gettleman thought that those were good picks.
Here's the problem, though. Sometimes people that are seen as character picks turn out to be bad. Le'Veon Bell was seen as a character pick when he was drafted. Damon Arnett of the Raiders was seen as a character pick when he was drafted. Yeah. So maybe Kadarius Toney, DeAndre Baker, guys like that, they were character picks. And the only character they had was
Ron Artest.
Sideshow comic relief.
Ron Artest coming out of Syracuse was like, this guy's a leader. He's a gamer. He's a baller. He's not going to do anything on the court to mess up his career.
Well, that's the thing too. Like the Packers usually when they draft, like character is like near like the top. They don't care if like you are, because they could have, for example, like George Pickens, like they could have gotten him, and I think everybody saw like, hey, Pickens, but they're like, nah, we're gonna go with Christian Watson. Like we're gonna kind of just because George Pickens, like it was all right. That whole like leading up to the draft, it was like, ooh, might have some behavior issues or character issues.
And there's still some grumblings about that in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's Mike Tomlin's just like, listen, if I could survive AB.
Honestly, Mike Tomlin just like throws stuff onto the side and buries it in. That's what he did with AB. He'll probably do it with George Pickens if he has.
I wish we could
Mike Tomlin
do a poll.
asks the GM one question. He's like, is he worse than Antonio Brown? And if the answer is no, he's like, all right, draft.
I can handle.
Yeah. Cool.
Honestly, I think Hitler would probably be a better draft pick character.
Wow.
Okay.
Hitler reference. Wow.
I don't know. I mean, that's the first name.
All right, I got a question. Just before we go on to the next segment, is which member of Clickbait Sports do you think would have the most character issues? If our ability were all the same athletically, who do you think would have the most character issues on an NFL roster out of the five of us?
Chat, I feel like it'll be 5.
Answer that. Do you think I would be the biggest a-hole?
Yes, I think with the way you talk sometimes, the way you post yourself, I think it'll rub people in the locker room the wrong way, dude.
You don't think Scooter and
dropped a big endless reference and was like, yeah, I think 5's gonna be a problem in that locker room. I'm not gonna lie. Like out of pocket, just like, yeah, no problem. And he's just like, 5 is a menace. I gotta tell you. You just never know what he's gonna say.
I could see Tree. I could see Tree having a bad game and just being like, well, this was not worse than 9/11. No way.
I will say Scooter would have the least amount of character problems. Scooter's like, what do you got? What do you need? That's fine. It's fine.
You don't think Scooter would talk trash or say the wrong thing to the media?
No, Scooter would talk trash.
Scooter would talk trash to the other team. He wouldn't really talk it to the media or anything like that. He'd probably boast to the media.
He might go on social media. Like, Scooter might literally create the same exact videos that he already does, but just on a weekly basis, and he's playing for the football team. I honestly think I'm waiting for that we have a creator that's like making those kind of videos that are just like pure trash talk, bashing all the other teams, and they're on that team. Like, I want to see it.
It could come that day.
I want to see that as well. Another thing I want to see is let's preview this Thursday night football game between the Eagles and who are they playing? The Vikings. Eagles, Vikings. Who do you got in this game and why? This is a must-win for the Vikings. This is a must-win for the Vikings because they can't start 0-2. We talked about that 0-2 stat.
I mean,
what are you guys thinking?
You can't. The Bengals were 0-2 last season.
Yeah, and they got all the way to the AFC Championship game.
I mean, I think for the Vikings,
like heading wrong. Whatever that stat was earlier is wrong. Then
the Vikings, they shot themselves in the foot. The issue is that, of course, it's on primetime, but they got their ass kicked when they went into Philly last year on Monday Night Football, and Darius Slay just had a field day with him. So I think this could be like a really tough game for the Vikings, and I am just really torn up about it because they already lost to the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield. So I have a feeling they're going to lose to the Eagles. I think they might do a little bit better, like maybe a few less turnovers, but
they still self-destruct a ton. And their
one of us will be happy, Tom. Me or you will be happy tonight.
Hell yeah.
The Chiefs are officially screwed, guys.
Is Kelsey out?
Are in trouble.
What happened?
Oh, please tell me.
The Chiefs.
Oh, I
start
saw that. Yeah, they're
0-2.
crashing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jawan Taylor.
Chiefs.
Not a
No
lot,
more
but
cheating.
it'll help.
And they paid him $15 million a year for 4 years or something.
How are they going to crack down on this?
Appreciate
Do
you.
their job? Like, what is the enforcement here? Because, like, isn't there the line judge, the LJ, right? Isn't that their job to watch for false starts? Like, they have a parallel view of the line, and they were supposed to see if someone moves. They missed that happen like 6-7 times onto, like, Jawan Taylor was going off more than a teenager on his prom night. He was early every time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 5. I'm gonna take 5 for the most. I'll take 5.
That's big because like the real issue was like he was lining up in the backfield basically. So I think part of his game and him being effective is getting that advantage there, and also he's very good at timing the snap. Like we leaned into the false start thing. I think he timed a lot of those snaps well, but if he has to step up a little bit and if he has to wait an extra split second before he's getting that jump, maybe he's not as effective of a tackle as they're hoping he would be. That could be like, it's a little thing, but that could be a big thing.
A little thing that adds up to a lot.
I don't know.
And it also creates the extra jump.
Yeah.
But back to this Thursday night football game, can we just take a second to talk about the Eagles? Because everyone on this show hyped up the Eagles before the season, how they were supposed to be this powerhouse, how they added all these pass rush pieces. They look average against the Patriots.
Jalen Carter had like 9 pressures, dude.
35%. I mean, here's the thing. They still won the game. That's their offense sputter because New England's defense played a pretty stout game. That's what happened.
Down 2 starting guards in the first half. I don't know if you guys watched this game. I watched a lot of this
their
game.
whole line's wrecked. I mean, they're pretty much out with
They
injuries,
didn't get any pressures towards the beginning of the game. It was all towards the end of the game when it was obvious passing
But at the
situations.
beginning of the game, their offense sputtered. They changed their game plan to suit that issue. A lot of short passes and quick runs.
Well, didn't
that's what offense does.
Didn't the Eagles lose like both their coordinators too?
Yes,
Gannon,
they lost to both head coaches.
yeah,
Although
they
Jonathan
both-
Gannon, although that might Eagles fans cheered him leaving, so I don't know.
I'm excited to see what this pass rush does against the Vikings because it was super hyped up. And
I think they're going to crush them.
I did not see that much. I would like to see if it does bounce back and it does get to what all this preseason hype was like.
I think
we'll see.
What's really interesting, one of the things that's like really standing, besides you had like the major teams lose that you didn't think were going to lose, right? So like the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Bills, those are those 3. But I think you just saw, especially this week, like how important offensive linemen, like we say this every single time, right? Like they're not the sexy picks, nothing like that. But damn, man, the difference between having like a really good or solid O-line is a complete game changer. Like I mentioned about the Packers, but like even look at the Commanders, right? Arizona got after them 6 times. They got sacked. You see so many injuries that like the O-lines are just not good. And those QBs are running for their life. So, I mean, that's why
I don't even know if Daniel Jones is good or bad because he didn't have a chance to even think before they were.
He was bad.
He had issues, but at the same time, I mean, he had people in his face. The entire right side of his O-line was a mess. Rookie center, Glowinski's a turnstile, Evan Neal's a turnstile.
If you're getting pressured 60% of the time, even when you have a clean pocket, you're hearing footsteps. Your internal clock is sped up so much already, you're afraid. I don't know. It's hard to
evaluate. My thing is, like, why didn't they run the ball, though? Like, they should have been running the ball. Like, and Evan Neal actually had a decent run rating. Like, they could have ran behind him, and they just didn't. And their first drive, the opening drive, was effective, and then they started doing that cute play action, thinking that they had to pass or correct that deficit that they started. And then, you know, they threw the pick 6, and it got ugly. Yeah, anyways.
So let's get back to this Thursday night football game. Any predictions for this game? What are we thinking? Who's going to come out on top for this game? And then we can do we have a punishment to get through?
I do have a punishment, actually. It's going to be a punishment for all of you, too.
So let's get through the predictions, and then we'll do the punishment after that.
That's fine.
What are we thinking?
I got the Eagles. Yeah, no, I got the Eagles.
I think
by
how much?
Like 31-17.
Okay.
Ass whipping. As in typical Thursday night awful, it's going to be an awful game of some kind. Either one team is going to dominate, or it's just going to be ugly football because we're only 2 weeks into the season and we're already playing a Thursday night game with two ill-prepared teams. I like the Eagles to win, by 2 touchdowns. I can't give you a score, but I think the Birds
Eagles
win
by
this.
2 touchdowns.
The Vikings did not look good.
I'm going Vikings 35-24, just out of pure hatred for the Eagles.
My man. Mm-hmm.
This is easy. The Eagles will win this game, and the Eagles, I know you're not going to like this, Scooter. They're going to look a lot better because I think the thing we're overlooking is the Eagles played the Patriots defense.
Yes.
Even when the Patriots are not good, their defense is good. Belichick had plenty of time to prep for that game. I don't think the Vikings have a defense that's anywhere close to the Patriots yet. Maybe Flores can get them there. But I think we'll see like the Eagles team we thought we were going to see, week 1, closer to where they were last year in this game. I think the Eagles, they will be without James Bradbury, and that could be a little bit of an issue.
Was that Rashad Penny driving by? Just a question.
I don't know.
I think it must have been zooming.
I live in the city now. Yeah, that was.
So what do you got? What's the score prediction, Brandon? Wait for it. Let it come to you.
Prince Stradamus.
34-10.
34-10. They only scored 10 points with Justin Jefferson.
Bro, they were targeting him in the first half, and then they're like, hey, let's not do that anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to get back to the film study session, and they're going to say throw the ball to one of the best receivers in the league.
Maybe.
What are you going with? Tree.
Battle of the trenches. Vikings O-line is injured to heck, and they just got destroyed. That's why Cousins pretty much had to rush a bunch of throws, especially in the first half. Eagles' defensive line looks beastly, even without Nakobe Dean in the front seven. I mean, Jalen Carter is just going to wreck their backup center all game long. Not to mention Fletcher Cox, they still have 2, and Jordan Davis. So it's going to be a nightmare on the interior. So you're going to have to pretty much get relegated to running the outside and rolling rollouts. And then Eagles' offensive line should pretty much dominate the entirety of the Vikings' defensive line minus Daniil Hunter. So I think the Eagles win this one pretty easily. I'm going to say it's a lower scoring game. I'm going to say 21-13.
Is Fletcher Cox playing this game?
I think he's like limited practice, so there's a chance he could play. I'm not sure if he can.
He's questionable.
Right.
Yes.
Reed Blankenship out for the Eagles as well, and no Kenneth Gainwell, but I think you'll see DeAndre Swift actually,
get more than 3 carries.
And Rashad Penny.
There you go.
Let's see how it plays out. All right, let's get to this punishment.
You people want questionable? Yeah, this is going to be a questionable one. About a month ago, I was issued a punishment that I have to do the song "I'm Just Ken," and it's going to be full of terrible singing and musical montages, and it's just I hope you all feel the inner tree. You're going to feel the inner tree.
Sometimes I just think about life. I think about my place in the world, and then it just hits me.
Doesn't seem to matter what I do, I'm always number 2. No one knows how hard I tried. Oh, I have feelings that I can't explain. It's driving me insane.
He's cooking.
And I'll sleep alone tonight, 'cause I'm just tree. Anywhere else I'd be a 3. Is it my destiny to live and die a life of brown virginity? And I'm just tree, where I see love she wants to be. What will it take for her to see the man behind the tan fight for me? I'm just tree and I'm enough, and I'm great at doing stuff. So hey, check me out, yeah, I'm just tree.
Yeah, this song was terrible. Let's make sure I never do this again, right?
It was so bad.
I bow to you, sir.
Oh my
I bow
God.
to you, sir.
Let's go.
Hey,
That
yes.
was the best singing performance ever in the history
Yes.
of.
I don't know
Well
about
done.
that, dude. I mean, Tom's was
Wow.
pretty good a while ago.
Treef,
Treef's
you are
got
enough,
bars.
buddy.
Wow.
You are enough.
No, I am Trinough.
You're enough too.
You're enough.
Wow.
Feel the
W's in the
energy,
chat.
baby.
Please, W's in the chat. All right. Shall we do the countdown?
Yeah, we can call it early.
I don't
I
even
think
know how
that's
I
a mercy
follow up
killing
that.
for all of us. I wish we could do this for the
Performance,
Giants game. Tom,
What's going on?
take us
Why-
away,
Yeah.
buddy.
2019, 18, 17, 16, 15, 4. We beat up the Bears, then we mopped the floor with blood. Now we're gonna go and take on the dirty birds. And Scooter's gonna be like Cowboys for the Super Bowl. Oh yeah.
It's our year.
Walrus getting hit by a Toyota.
I got
Oh,
30. I got 30.95. Let's go.
Jesus, EA.
$25.
Yeah. Hope you
Ow.
get better, yeah.
Boop, boop. EA, recover soon, buddy. Jesus.
Yeah, I had heard that. I mean, apparently, like, he's doing
Whoa.
okay. Like, he didn't have to go to the hospital or anything like that. But, I mean, he,
What the heck?
Jeez Louise. Sorry,
That's what
buddy.
you get for exercising. God.
Yeah, you
No,
never do that. You never do that.
what's wrong with exercising, kids? Come on.
Hon,
You have a stationary bike inside.
5,
your
you're
house.
muted.
Well, no.
There we go.
I am 150
I muted again.
so I did not win.
I keep
thankfully.
hearing the countdown. It's weird.
Hmm.
Do you have
You're
your
crazy.
screen open on the other tab? All right, bye.
All right.
Anyway, so I mean, we need to know at 5. I probably lost. But five.
Well, 5
How
had
much money did you
200.
make 5.
He had a
I had
200.
216.65.
Yeah, I got 402.76.
Now
All right,
what?
So here's the thing. I owe the Bears highlight, but then did we ever come up with happened if the Packers won?
No.
No, we did not.
I mean,
Roll on
for
to one.
honestly, I'm thinking a little mercy rule for 500K. I think he should do something positive for himself.
Yeah. Manicure, pedicure. Horse.
Well, that
I mean,
or
that-
actually,
like
what he
the
could do
sixth
is
time.
make
Done
a
that
video shitting on the Bears fan base for talking.
Oh,
All
I
this
did that. Oh no, I did that.
No,
yeah,
no,
no.
yeah, he did
Oh,
like
I
a
did.
12-minute video.
Oh yeah, no, I did that.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
We
that's
gotta,
been
like-
done.
His punishment should be he has to sleep 8 hours for a day. That should be his punishment.
Guys, can we make it a realistic punishment, please? Like, let's not like
no,
these
no,
things-
no. That's like, yeah. Like you have to document.
You
it.
have to
like live
document
stream you
yourself
sleeping.
sleeping for
Sleep
8
stream.
hours.
You have to
Sleep
wear
stream.
pajamas.
That's a punishment.
He has to
Sleep
donate
stream.
his Achilles to Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, why not? Why
That's
not?
actually
Just,
that's
like,
actually
take
legit
mine,
punishment.
Aaron.
I do like the eight hours of sleep though. For
All
real. Like I'm
Yes.
legit.
So I could do that.
When was the last time? In June.
The last time I got a full 8 hours, I got 8 hours right after 30 and 30. Someone asked this, like, when's the last time you slept for like 10 hours? I think I did that once this year. And it was right after 30 and 30.
Wow, and you have
Wow.
no children. Like you don't have little kids. To
Well, I
wake
got the
you up and
dogs
be
and
like-
cats.
Yeah,
I know
Yeah.
dogs. Yes, but still, like
Oh,
you
they'll
don't
cuddle
have,
with you
like-
and make you go to sleep.
I got work to do.
Oh no, I
8
got work to do
hours.
too. But you got to sleep, man.
Oh,
8
yeah, but
hours.
it's fine.
8 hours of sleep.
I'll get
All right,
8 hours.
8 hours of sleep.
You need
Okay.
that Kenergy.
That's a good one. Yeah, but you have
know
to
what?
document it.
It's on my birthday's on Saturday. Maybe I'll sleep 8 hours heading into Saturday.
There we
Sleep
go.
stream.
Can you film it and then like speed it up to 80 time fast?
I don't, but the battery's gonna die. I don't know.
Time lapse.
I mean, you have to. I mean, we could give you one reprieve in the middle so that you could change the battery.
We'll
And
call
then-
you every hour to make sure you're still sleeping.
I
Yes.
appreciate that, Brandon. Thank you. All right, I'll take.
Just film yourself sleeping for a little bit and then call that 8 hours.
I got
you.
you.
Can't upload for 24 hours.
That's a real punishment for Tom.
That is
is
a
a real
terrible
punishment.
punishment.
And
That's
honestly,
cruel.
There's
Nothing
no
would hurt
way.
Tom more than that.
Yeah, Tom would be like Pookie from New Jack City. He would start fuming.
what do you mean? What do you?
As soon as that 24 hours ended, Tom would have 17 videos go live.
Yeah, it's like all at once too. All at once.
Bam, 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 bam.
Well, I hope you missed me.
All right. So what do you guys have coming out?
I will be
Go ahead.
streaming tonight. Of course, Vikings, Eagles, and then probably a video afterwards, depending on the game. So
I have a complete breakdown on January 31st, the year 2000. It is the Ray Lewis incident, a deep dive into that whole thing. So I'm very excited. It's going to be sick. It's going to be good. Mm-hmm.
We got the Cowboys and Gators pre-game conference interviews coming out soon. Be on the lookout for those dropping Friday and Saturday. Brandon, you got anything
game coming out tonight?
Maybe another short today, but probably something from the game tonight, tomorrow.
That's fair. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another glorious episode of Clickbait Sports. The Cowboys are the best team in the league. Let's go.
Niners.
no.
Let's go.
No.
It's just no.
Go.